Well, one couple in Idaho teaching their kids responsibility with a pumpkin stand, only to be stopped by the mean old tax man. The Willis watchdogs bark about it next. Does the SEC have its act together? Well, they say they will by year's end. The Wall Street Journal reporting the SEC's electronic tip catalog will be up and running by then. Time to let the Willis watchdogs out. Mark Levine is a radio talk show host in D.C., and Matt McCall is the president of Penn Financial. Matt, I got to start with you on the SEC. How long does it take to get your internet site up? I mean, come on.
I know. The good thing is it actually is going to be set up, which is, I think, really good for the individual investor. But the problem with the SEC is this is an organization, of course, under the government umbrella, and we spend a lot of money and a lot of time just spinning your wheels, and you do not get anywhere. I think they're really behind the times. We should have this site up and running years ago. We should have people, prospective investors that want to come, let's say, to my firm. They could look up Penn Financial Group, see if there's been any complaints against me, anything like that. I mean, I think that's full disclosure is very important. And the fact that's not been done for years concerns me. The fact it's actually coming out will help good firms that really follow the rules.
You can actually do that with the NASD, though.
You can, yes.
All right. Mark, what do you think of this?
Well, Matt's right. It should have been done a decade ago. One of the things I really like about Mary Shapiro, Obama's choice to head the SEC, is that rather than, the old Bush administration that was busy protecting Wall Street from the government instead of protecting Americans from Wall Street, she's looking out to get Wall Street, and she's got a great way of doing it. She's doing it through whistleblowers who can actually make money by turning in their fellow Wall Street greedheads. So now what they could do is you have an insider, instead of doing insider trading and illegally making money, what you can do is turn in an insider trader and legally make money.
Yeah, Mark, a guy who's making $2 million a year is going to turn in his buddy next to him for $200. I mean, come on, it's not going to happen. That's not what we want. We want to protect the individual investor, yes, but listen, the SEC made a huge mistake over the last couple of decades. Every time something's happened and blown up, the SEC was not there covering it. So it's just as much their fault as Wall Street's.
I knew if we had two guys on.
Of $200 million, it's a lot of money.
I knew if we had two guys on, we'd have a lot of fighting. I predicted this. All right. Next story, the Democratic candidate for Rhode Island governor has a message for the president after Mr. Obama announced he won't be endorsing him. Frank Caprio saying Obama can take his endorsement and shove it. The president isn't endorsing Caprio because his friend Senator Lincoln Chafee is running against him. Is this any way to act, Mark?
It really isn't. I guess hell hath no fury like an unendorsed politician scorned. This guy, he was way over the top. I think it was a cry of the heart. He got really upset, but he really should have kept it to himself. I don't think it's helping his campaign any.
Not helping his campaign.
Oh my God, it's the best thing that could happen to his campaign right now. Who wants to be endorsed by President Obama? His ratings are falling every single day. I think it's actually, he's kind of putting a spin on this, saying, well, I wish he would have endorsed me. But really in the back of his mind, he's thinking, boy, this is the best thing that could happen to me. And I'd like to see him run away with the campaign now.
And he's playing it, isn't he?
He's playing it. Exactly. He's playing right up to it.
I don't think you've ever been to Rhode Island, Matt. It's a very liberal, blue, Democratic state.
Which is what makes this so surprising,
exactly.
I think. All right, we'll let you have that one. Let's move on to the next story, which I love. The Idaho State Tax Commission calling for a family to close its roadside pumpkin stand for being in violation of laws, tax laws. The operators say their 4- and 6-year-old children have been carving out the jack-o'-lanterns to raise money for local schools. Matt?
I'm torn on this, really. I don't like to see people not paying their taxes. At the same time, I mean, if they're making if they're making a couple bucks carving, and if they really are giving this money back to charity, I mean, I think that's a great thing. That's what this country's built on. So I kind of have to go with the pumpkin heads here and away from the police or tax collectors.
Mark, do you like the tax man here or the pumpkin heads?
Well, I'll agree there's bigger fish to fry. If they're doing it for charity, I guess it's okay. But take a look at the size of those pumpkins. Look closely in the picture. They're far bigger than those 4- and 6-year-olds. So here's what I think's going on. This isn't a lemonade stand. What's happening is the parents wanted in a pumpkin business, and they're putting their kids out as fronts to avoid the tax man. But if those kids are really lifting those pumpkins, we need to call child services.
All right. Well, that was an angle I did not think about. Mark and Matt, thanks for the help today. We appreciate it.